From TradersPost here. This video is going to give you a quick introduction on how to get set up with TradersPost. So let's go ahead and dive in and get started. So after you create your brand new free trial TradersPost account, you'll see that you land on a dashboard and you have a blank brand new $100,000 paper account. And this is going to be the account that we're going to use for this test and this demo. And the first thing that you're going to want to do to send signals into TradersPost in order to create trades in this paper broker is create a webhook. So at the top, you'll see a strategies menu, and you'll want to hover over that and then click webhooks. And then from here, we're going to click new webhook. And this is where we can give our webhook a name. We'll just call this test webhook. And we're going to allow any ticker to this webhook. We're not going to restrict it to only work with certain tickers. And if you wanted to only allow TradingView to send signals to this webhook, you could check this checkbox. Or if you wanted to limit it to specific IP addresses, say you were sending signals to TradersPost from your own server or your own custom coded strategy or some other third-party charting system like TrendSpider. This is just how you would control who can access that webhook. So we're going to leave this blank. We're going to allow open access to this webhook. So let's go ahead and click Save. Now that we have this webhook created, the next thing that you're going to want to do is create a strategy. And the strategy is what users will be able to subscribe to connect it to their broker. So let's click Create a New Strategy. And let's just call this test strategy. These are fields that you can fill in. They're optional. That can give some additional details about the strategy for the user. We're just going to leave those blank for right now. We are going to associate it to that test webhook that we just created in the previous screen. And then we are going to go ahead and save this strategy. So now that our strategy is created, we can create a subscription to that strategy and connect it to our paper TradersPost broker. So let's go ahead and click Create a Subscription. So from this screen, this is going to list all of the brokers that you have available, that you have connected to TradersPost. In this example, we only have one paper broker connected to TradersPost. So let's just go ahead and click that broker. And once you do that, it creates a brand new subscription to the test strategy, and it's disabled at this point. We're going to fill in all the details and get it enabled so that we can show some tests and show you how it works. So the fields that you can configure on the strategy, if you want to auto submit the trades, you can check this checkbox. If you don't check this, you'll get an opportunity to approve or reject the signal before it creates an order in the broker. If you do have this checked, it will automatically send the trade to the broker. You don't get any chance to approve or reject the trade. So let's leave this unchecked for now so that you can see what that process of approving or rejecting looks like. And we're going to take the long only side. You have the ability to take both sides, long, short, or none. None basically just disables the subscription. So we're going to do long only. We're going to allow any ticker. It is connected to our paper TradersPost broker. And under the position sizing section, this is where you can configure the quantity that gets bought basically whenever a signal comes in. So for this demonstration, we're going to basically take 10% of our portfolio value and put it on each signal that we get. And we're not going to use a take profit or stop loss. And let's do entry market and exit market. So whenever we get a signal to enter, it will create a market order. And whenever we get a signal to exit, it will create a market exit order. So let's go ahead and click Save. So now this subscription has all our details saved. And let's go ahead and enable it. So as soon as we enable this, the subscription is live. And as soon as a signal comes into that webhook, it's going to put a signal in our inbox for this subscription for us to approve or reject. So I'm not going to actually hook this up to a real strategy at this point. I'm just going to show you how you can send a signal manually to the webhook to sort of mimic what would happen if you were to actually hook this up to a live strategy, say in TradingView or TrendSpider, or maybe your own custom coded strategy. So let's click View on your webhook, and let's click the Send Request button at the top right. And this basically will allow you to send a buy or a sell signal for a ticker at a specific price. And that will basically mimic a signal coming in from a real strategy. So we're going to uncheck test because we actually want this to trigger trades for all the subscribers to this strategy. In this case, I'm the only subscriber. So we're going to get a signal in our inbox right up here. You'll see this count will increase to 1 as soon as I trigger this signal. So let's go ahead and send this. And you'll see that the signal was sent and a trade was triggered for that paper broker. You'll see that my inbox now has 1 trade in it. So let's go over there and take a look. You can see that we got the buy signal for Square at $254.47. Because we configured market entry, you'll see that we have a market buy. And if you click View, this will take you over to the page to view the full information for that trade or that signal. So this is the signal that we sent. You can see the status history of the trade here, and everything looks good, and I think I'm ready to approve this. And you'll see that it will buy 39 shares because at the current price of $254.36, it can't afford to buy 39 shares because that's all it can afford for the 10% of portfolio value, which is $10,000. 10% of $100,000 account is $10,000. So let's go ahead and click approve. And as soon as we click approve, this starts the process of submitting that order to the broker and opens a position in Square. So we click save, and boom, you can see that now we have a order submitted and it was filled. 39 shares were filled at $253.93. And you can see that we have the history here. It was approved by myself and it entered into the new position. You can see the history of the status changes here. This is when the signal came in. This is when I approved it, and the system started processing it 1 second later, and the broker filled it, and now we have an open position. So if I hover over brokers at the top and click the TradersPost broker, you'll see now that we have this open position on Square and our closed order that we submitted from the webhook. So now let's change it up a little bit, and let's edit our subscription, and let's turn on auto submit. All right, so now auto submit is turned on, and let's go back to our webhook and let's send a sell signal for Square, and let's close that position. So because we have an open long position and we're sending a sell signal, it's going to create an exit order and exit that open long position. It's going to exit the full quantity of that position. So let's go ahead and click send, and let's go over to our inbox, and you'll see now that we have this sell, and you'll notice that there's no approve or reject button here, and that's because we had auto submit turned on, and it automatically approved the signal, and the exit open position order was sent to the broker, and it was filled, and we are out of that trade. So let's go back over to the paper broker here, and you'll see that we have the history of orders, we have the buy, and we have the sell, and we made $3.90 on that trade. So that's the basics of how to set up a strategy in TradersPost. And the last thing that I'll show you before we end for today is, well, now that you have this webhook created and the strategy created, well, I want to actually do something real with it. I want to hook it up to a real strategy in TradersPost, or maybe in TradingView. So this URL is the key. It is the most important piece of how you get signals into TradersPost. So I am going to pull over into the screen share here, my TradingView app. And basically what you can do is you can copy this URL and you can set up alerts. So if I have a strategy that emits buy and sell signals, and that strategy allows me to send those signals as alerts, you can create alerts for that strategy by going over to the alerts section in TradingView and click create alert. And we're going to use the trend following Momo strategy that I have pulled up here. And we're on the Tesla 78-minute chart. And we're going to do the buy alert. And once per bar close, we're going to do open-ended. We're not going to notify on app. And we're just going to do a webhook URL. And we're going to paste in that webhook URL that we got from TradersPost over here on this screen. Now remember, keep this webhook URL private. This is the URL that will allow people to send signals into TradersPost. So you definitely want to make sure that no one has access to view this webhook URL. Don't ever share this webhook URL with anyone. So now that we are creating this alert, we can give it a quick name, and we'll call this Tesla Momo 78-minute buy, and you'll click create, and you'll notice that this JSON, this body of the message, that gets filled in automatically by this strategy that I'm using. But if you head over to our documentation on the website, you'll see, if you go to the TradingView section here, you'll find some documentation that shows you how you can modify your own TradingView strategy to add the necessary alert conditions so that you can integrate any TradingView strategy with TradersPost. So let's go ahead and create this alert here. So you'll see now that I have this brand new alert. And so now we have the buy, but we also need a sell. So I'm going to right click that alert and I'm going to clone it. And then I'm going to click edit and I'm going to change it to a sell. And the only thing that we're going to change is the name of the alert. You'll see that the message here, it's the same as the buy, except the action changes from buy to sell. You'll notice that when I change this message here, or sorry, this condition, if I change it back to buy, you'll notice that the action changes back to buy. So we're setting up the sell and the action changes back to sell. So now let's click save. And now we have the buy and the sell alert for Tesla on the 78-minute chart using the Momo strategy. So as soon as a signal comes in, you'll see that we got a signal back on October 4th, and it's been a nice trade so far, and it's still long, and the trade is still open in this Momo strategy on the 78-minute chart. And as soon as these moving averages cross back over, it will get a sell signal like we got back over here, and TradingView will send that alert to the TradersPost webhook URL, and TradersPost will exit the Tesla position that's open in all of the subscribers to that strategy. So that's pretty much it, and hopefully this was really, really helpful and will help you get started with your own strategies using TradersPost and something like TradingView or TrendSpider or your own custom coded strategy. Thanks everyone. Have a great day.